Hello, gorgeous, and a warm welcome to Accepting the Path of an Empath. I'm Eileen, your host, and we're outside with the Tree of Love again. And in this episode, we are continuing the beautiful theme of the sacred pause. So get yourself your favorite drink, cup of tea, however that may look, get yourself cozy, and let's dive in. Welcome to Accepting, where I guide you to accept all aspects of your beautiful self, embrace your truth, and live your life that way. Hello, gorgeous, and a warm welcome to this week's episode. Following on from the previous week where we were entering into that feeling of the sacred pause, I would like to take things a little bit deeper, and we're going to be feeling into the softness of living with softness. Now, living with softness is not a weakness. Living with softness is you taking gentle control and acknowledging your beautiful power of your gentleness as an empath in a world where we can be trained to show up in a sharp, abrupt, seeking attention kind of way. Allowing yourself softness allows yourself to be authentic, allows yourself to show up in your truth, and allows others to show up how they wish to show up. We're not in a blame game. We're getting back to our true reality. We're getting back to our true essence, the truth of our essence. And as the world is changing so much more towards the divine feminine, we are really connecting with our softness. Now, softness, as I mentioned, is not a weakness. Softness is a power. It's a powerhouse. Softness is being able to be in a situation, feeling calm, feeling centered, feeling grounded, and making gentle decisions from that place, not from a pressured place where society often invites us to make decisions. So I would really invite you just to feel into what is your softness. How does softness feel for you? So softness as empaths, from a physical point of view, our body absolutely loves this. It allows us to be present. It allows us to be in the flow. It allows us to be in our parasympathetic, beautiful state where we can allow creative elements to flow. If you feel into where you've been in a state of sharpness, a state of not taking a pause, a state of pushing, that is not softness. A softness is a state of just metaphorically or physically stepping back, feeling into your body and listening to your body, because your body knows everything is connected. And we know that if there's an emotional experience or an emotional situation that we haven't actually faced or looked into or felt into or dealt with, for a sharper way to say it, then we can take that into our bodies. We can take that lesson into our bodies, and it comes out in our bodies. When we are in a place of softness, we're in a place of calm, we can enter into situations and we can review situations that may have felt troublesome and stressful and worrisome before, and we can review those from a gentle place, from a soft place. So there is so much power in softness. And when we review a situation from softness, we are allowing that to be released from our body. We are allowing that tension to come out of our body. We are allowing that illness, if you like, to come out of our body. As Louise Hay called the dis-ease, we're allowing ourselves back into ease and flow. So softness is a superpower as well as sensitivity. Our sensitivity is our softness. And when we're living in an environment where it's so loud, there's so much going on all the time, there's adverts on the TV which are loud and bright, and they're there for a reaction. They're there to cause a reaction. Softness is about acting, not reacting. Softness is taking that beautiful sacred pause, taking a moment, feeling like the cat, and then taking action. Or continuing your rest, because rest is also beautiful, soft action. When we rest, we're not stopping. Softness is not stopping. Softness is listening. Softness is aligning our body and our soul and our mind and our hearts to all work in a beautiful, gentle flow together. That is softness. Softness is allowing ourselves to speak our truth instead of blurting it out. As empaths, we can have so many messages coming through, and that sacred pause allows us to let those messages settle and then bring them out into the world in a very beautiful, soft way. For example, I'm outside in the morning on a Sunday, the sun has risen, we're with the tree of love. You can see her behind me for those of you who are watching. For those of you who are listening, I am outside in the garden. It's a beautiful day, and I have one of the gorgeous olive trees in the garden that I call the tree of love, because there's a beautiful heart naturally carved by nature in her trunk. That is softness. Showing up in this beautiful, soft way to share with you is huge, because I have allowed myself to feel into this moment. I have allowed myself to pause and take a moment and to feel what is really right for me to feel into, to share with you. And it's not right or wrong, it's feeling into that moment. What feels right in this moment for me to share with you? What messages are coming through for me to share with you? That's me and my softness. Full disclosure, I recorded 2 podcasts yesterday inside, and it did feel very gentle and it did feel in flow. I recorded in perhaps a pressured way, and there were 3 episodes that I recorded. The first one is there. The 2 other podcast episodes, the audio didn't work. And I was really feeling into how frustrating this is, because there was so much information there. There was so much help and guidance. And I've had to accept that they didn't record for whatever reason. And the reason is for me to be outside again. You can see the sun coming up now behind me, and to be in this soft energy, to share this softness with you. That is why that happened. So I took my sacred pause. I was given a sacred pause. It didn't quite feel like that at that time. That was my blessing in disguise of those audios not working, so I could really feel into the moment and transmute this energy and transfer this energy to you. So hopefully whatever energy you arrived at the beginning of this episode, you have felt the energy of nature coming to you and transmuting any tension that you've had into gentle softness. That is my aim, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I would really invite you, this is just a gentle, short episode to invite you into your softness, to invite you to journal on this. What does your softness look like? What does softness look like to you? I invited you in the previous episode to feel into what is your sacred pause. How about we take it a step further, take pen to paper and feel into what is my softness? How do I feel when I'm in softness? And as I mentioned before, it is not a weakness. It's not allowing people to walk over you. It's standing in your power with gentleness, with certainty, with curiosity of what may be coming next. It's standing in your power in a grounded and gentle way. It's acting instead of reacting. So when somebody is speaking to you and they're perhaps in a nervous or anxious way, as an empath, you're not taking that on. You're identifying in a soft way that that is how they're showing up. You're staying in your stillness and softness, and allowing them to be how they need to be in that moment, whilst not reacting to it. You're acting. This is so interesting. So it's really interesting the connotations that can come up for acting. So I'm not talking about performing. I'm talking about you're taking action. So you're acting in terms of, how do this feel in this moment? How can I show up and be here? You're not reacting to that pressure of the energy that's coming towards you. You're taking a moment, you're taking a breath, and you are acting as in taking action from that state. Not in a state of feeling into the pressure and the anxiety of having to perform and react in the way that that person expects you to react. You're acting and reacting from a place that feels right for you. Okay? So let's look at that in another way. So if you're having a conversation with somebody and you're reacting to their anxiety and you're matching that because as an empath you've taken that on, take a step back and be in softness before taking any action towards that. So society can often encourage us to be loud and bold and sharp. And if we're in a conversation with somebody and that's how they're showing up because that's their way, we don't necessarily have to match that. That's where our softness comes in. It's allowing ourselves to show up as our true essence in our softness. So instead of jumping in when there's a silence in a conversation to get your voice heard, you're allowing that person to complete their sentence. You're allowing that person to have their moment, and you listen. And then if they ask you, what is your opinion? What is your advice? Then you can absolutely gently feel into that and answer. Instead of, as empaths, when we feel so much, when we receive messages and answers, it can be so easy to jump in with those messages and answers before we've even been asked. So softness allows us to be in our power, not necessarily show up as people expect us, and I'm using inverted commas for those of you who are listening. It's not showing up as people expect us to be. It's showing up exactly who we are, which is in our softness. And it's staying in our energy rather than allowing the energy of all those around us in whatever capacity that is to affect us, that can often make us react in a way that isn't our true way because we've taken on the energy of others. And I love that the sun is coming through the tree as we're talking about this. So your softness is this. Feel, if you can't see, feel where I am at the moment. I'm going to be quiet for a moment and listen to the softness of nature around us. So you can hear the birds. There's no drilling, there's no machinery, there's no cars driving by. It's just complete, joyous, beautiful softness of peace and tranquility. And that is the power of softness. So let's change when somebody says, oh, you're really soft. Just say thank you. So softness is your true nature, my gorgeous, as empaths. What we're really here to do is soften. That's really, and I say do, what we're really here to be is soft and soften those sharp edges around. Because our beautiful, beautiful capability is that we can transmute energy into softness. And when we realize that actually this sensitivity that I've felt as a weakness and a burden is actually one of the most beautiful powers, that's when we begin to embrace our true selves. That's when we begin to embrace our softness. and work with it in such a way that it's not detrimental to our health. We're showing up in our truth, and we're showing up in a way that when others ask our opinion, when others ask our advice, we come from a gentle, soft, sacred place where we have taken a sacred pause before speaking. We're speaking our truth, we're speaking with softness and gentleness, and if somebody is not asking our advice, we are just simply present. And just by being present in that moment and feeling calm, that often invites that other person to feel that presence and softness, and their nervous system can start to calm down. They can start being in the parasympathetic nervous system, because it's like a reverse domino, if you like, and I've used this before. So we're lifting people up in a domino way. So instead of all the dominoes falling down, we're going the other way. We're lifting them all up. So if you feel into your softness, is actually the most beautiful, graceful gift you can be with anybody. People can be around you and feel calm. There's not the need to fill an empty silence because you're comfortable in your presence. There's not a need to jump in when somebody's just getting to the end of their sentence so you can be heard. There's not a need to jump in because somebody expects you to have all the answers and be there in a way that you've always been there for them, which is to both of your detriments. It's showing up in the best way for both of you, in softness. It's allowing that person to feel into their softness. It's allowing that person to feel into, well, actually, yes, I can do this myself. I do have the answers within. That is when you're in your beautiful moment, my gorgeous. It's working with your beautiful gifts of an empath, of feeling what's going on around you without taking it on. And being in that softness allows you to realize that whatever energy has just arrived from absolutely nowhere, whether that's anger or anxiety, where you were feeling absolutely fine before, is acknowledging in your softness, oh, actually, that's not mine, that's the other person. And so then you can get back into your grounded, beautiful state and just feel into, well, what am I really feeling at the moment? And look at this sun behind me. It's absolutely extraordinary. What am I actually feeling at the moment? And that lets you step back into your parasympathetic state. And yes, I'm repeating it because it's so important. And be in your gentle, soft state. And then you can move forward and act in a way that is soft. Act in a way that is appropriate for you. Act in a way that is your true essence, rather than picking up those negative energies of fear and anxiety around you. That is so easy to do as an empath, and I'm just gazing at the sun behind me at the moment. That is so easy to do as an empath. So we're changing the narrative on softness. Softness is strength, is 100% strength. Softness is acknowledging your beautiful gifts. Softness is allowing yourself to live in a different way to others. Softness is allowing yourself to have a different rhythm that perhaps you've had all through your life. Softness is allowing you to accept that you have a different rhythm to other people and allowing yourself to have that sacred pause. Softness is your power, my gorgeous. And so I'd love to leave you with that feeling of glorious softness. And for those of you who are watching, I love that we've got this beautiful sun behind us. And also, I would just like to get on to, before we finish, softness is gratitude. Softness is saying thank you for this beautiful moment, for the sun rising behind me. When we're in a place of softness, we realize how blessed we are. We realize how so much beauty is around us. We realize that we're so grateful for these beautiful gifts we've been given. We realize that actually our presence is already a gift. We don't have to do anything, and I'm using inverted commas again. We don't have to do anything. Just by simply being in our softness, we are already a gift. And the elements are agreeing. So I really hope this episode helped you feel into your beautiful softness, my gorgeous. If you would like to take things further and really embrace all you are and really work with your gifts in such a beautiful, grounded, soft way, I invite you to the Karis method, my lovely. The Karis method is a toolkit for empaths, for midlife empaths, for anybody going through any significant changes. And as empaths, we're always going through some kind of change as we're adapting to what's going on around us with softness. So if you would like to join the waitlist, this is my soft invitation to you to really embrace your power, to really see yourself as a gift that you truly are, to make your own decisions from a place of softness, from a place of being grounded and centered, and live your life in flow, then please do join the waitlist. You'll receive a 15% thank you of gratitude for you saying a sacred yes to yourself. It's coming out in June. It's absolutely beautiful. It's all the tools that have helped me throughout since my sacred pause began 9 years ago, as I was invited to really step back and look into who I truly am, not who I'd been showing up as for everybody else. And this has brought me here. And I've been guided so fully to share this into the world with softness and grace. And it's called the Karis method. And Karis in Greek means grace. And it's all about entering with grace, my lovely. So please do sign up to that if that feels for you and really feel in your heart and it really resonates with you. That is for you, my beautiful. With so much love, until the next time. Ho. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Accepting. Please do stay tuned for future episodes and also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If there's anything at all that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please get in touch and let me know. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Acceptance Coach and on TikTok at Solution Union 99. And if you'd like to have any coaching at all, or you would like to discuss this, do book an expansion call. For now, I'm your host, Aline, and to your self-acceptance, gorgeous, with so much love.